Well, hello, welcome to Storytime. Heho, imot tathkonome. It is good to see you. My name is Sonia, and I'm the Children's Services Coordinator at the Powell River Public Library on Cha'aman territory. Chechahathech tathkwal atin thauk. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Well, today's story time is all about being together with friends, with family, with neighbors. And every year I tend to do a together type story time, but this year is kind of special because I also like to say what my favorite books were that came out the year before, that were published the year before. And in 2021, there were some fantastic books published about coming together, being together. And so those are some of the stories that I will read today. Are you ready? All right, here we go. I think a good place to start is with a song about neighbors. This is Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. Always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? And that is Won't You Be My Neighbor from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which is a show that a lot of people my age watched when we were little kids. So that brings me to the first story of Storytime today. This is called Be a Tree, and it is written by Maria Gianferrari and illustrated by Felicita Sala. Be a tree. There's some kids up in a tree. And this is published by Abrams Books for Young Readers, published in 2021. Last year, we are newly in 2022. And look at, what is this child doing? They planted something, and it grew and grew and grew, and it became a tree. I think they planted a seed. Be a tree. Stand tall, stretch your branches to the sun. Let your roots curl, coil in the soil to ground you. Your spine, right there, is a trunk, giving you shape, holding your crown, channeling your food. Your skin is bark, dead on the outside, protecting what's within. Beneath your bark are layers, such as sapwood, carrying nutrients to help you grow bigger and taller, and heartwood, strong as bone, to support you. In your heart's center is your pith, keeper of nutrients, when you were a sapling. A sapling that's kind of new in the world, which all of us were at some point. High above your crown may be round, weeping, pyramidal, broad. Let it spread, shine overhead, collecting sun, filtering dust, shading your roots on hot days. Trees have different shapes. That's what it's talking about. All different shapes at the top, at the crown. Wave your leaves in the wind. Let's do that. Breathe in air. Drink in sun. Let them fuel you and the world. See yourself, branches and leaves above, roots below, trunk in between. You are a tree. And now, look around you. You are not alone. You are one of many trees. Our roots twine with fungi, joining all trees in the forest together. We talk, share food, divide resources, store water, alert each other to danger. A wood wide web of information. All of that happening under the ground in the roots, trees talking to trees. We purify the air, we anchor the soil, preventing erosion. Our dome of joined crown swings and straightens, slowing high winds. Our bodies and branches and roots are homes to birds and mammals and insects. We sustain ecosystems. Immigrant trees, away from their native habitats, are vulnerable. But together, a forest is strong. Mother trees nurse young trees. Old trees shade new trees. Strong trees shelter weak trees. Healthy trees help sick trees. Just like people do. Just like we do for one another, all together. A family, a community, a country, a cosmos. There is enough for all. So be a tree, for together we are a forest. The end. And well, this book was about trees. If you took this book out of the library, you could learn a lot more about trees at the end of the book. But it wasn't just about trees, was it? It was about trees being connected, working together, and the way that we are kind of similar to trees. So, I have an action to go with that story. This is a sunny day stretch. A sunny day yoga. And I'm going to do it sitting down, but you could stand up now if you want to do it along with me, okay? So here we go. We're going to start by reaching. I'm going to go reach up high, just like the trees in that book. Reach up high to the bright blue sky. Can you stretch up? Stretch. And then down dog low to the earth below. So bending down, you can't see me bending down. And then back up to the sky where the clouds puff by, and the birds soar upwards. Can you be a bird for a second with big wings? Stretch your arms out. Nice and slow. Then shine to the east. Ooh, stretch one direction like you're the sun. So you got rays. Shine to the east. And wow, spread your arms. Shine to the west. And then tickle the toes that you love best. So back to your toes. Tickle them. Tickle your toes. Then sprout, rising up like a little seed, a tree, up from the ground, up, 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 up. Smile at the sun and spin yourself. I can't quite do it sitting, but you can spin yourself around. And that is a sunny day yoga. So let us have one poem from a book called Friends and Foes, Poems About Us All by Douglas Florian. And published by Beach Lane Books. Here we go. This poem is called I'm Friends with Trees. I'm friends with trees, with bumblebees and every creeping creature. I'm friends with stones and dinosaur bones, but mostly Mother Nature. And so, the next story that I'm going to read is called The Big Bathhouse, and it is written by Maclear and with illustrations by Gracey, Zhang. And Maclear, well, she's Canadian. She's from here. And so this is one of my favorite books of 2021, and it's also from here. There we go, and it starts with an airplane. This is published by Random House Studio. When you get to Bachan's place, you'll forget about all the time that's passed and everything that happened to get you there. You'll tumble toward her and she'll shuffle toward you, and it will be understood. The wooden sandals will be lined up and waiting, and you'll know the aunties are coming. The aunties with their big stories and bigger purses. They'll rush toward you and you'll inch toward them, and it'll be understood. Ma anata wa okiku naramashitane. You'll walk down the street, your aunties sounding like clip-clopping horses. Get-da, 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 in their wooden sandals. And the warm wind will rustle through your yukata until you arrive at the bathhouse. The big bathhouse. To the bath that is steaming, to your cousins all beaming. There's some cousins. The water will flow and the garden will grow at the big bathhouse. The birds will be fed and your clothes will be shed at the big bathhouse. Note by note the chimes will ring, tune by tune a voice will sing at the big bathhouse. But first comes washing. Bachan's stool is a throne. She is the queen of the baths. With a tall towel crown, she'll wash your hair, while the aunties scrub each other's backs and the big bath waits. You'll do the soapy leg can, soapy hands, soapy knees. You'll do the wood barrel drum roll, brum, until it's time. Then, little by little, side by side, you, your bachan, aunties, and cousins will slip into the big bath. A chorus of one long breath. Ah. Soak it up, sink right into the tub, the steaming tub in the big bathhouse. You'll all dip your bodies, your newly sprouting gangly bodies, your saggy, shapely, jiggly bodies, your cozy, creased, ancient bodies, beautiful bodies. After the bath, your auntie's arms will open wide, and you'll be wrapped up snug in a soft cloud. While you're waiting for Bachan and the aunties, you'll find big chairs for flopping and sweet shaved ice for slurping. Then you'll say goodbye to the bathhouse, the big bathhouse. Face flushed, you'll walk into the cool night air. You'll walk through the quiet, glowing streets. Hush, the aunties will say, Shujukani. The houses are sleeping. They are so pretty when they sleep. We don't want to wake them. You'll reach for Bachan's hand and she'll reach for yours, and it'll be understood. Some things just go without saying. Someday you'll find the words, but for now you have this day at the big bathhouse. And that's the end. And there is an author's note. It says, as a child, I spent July and August in Japan at my grandmother's house. The moment I arrived, I stepped into a world of love and soaked it all in. The warm, grassy smell of tatami mats, the comforting sight of house slippers lined up by the front door, and the familiar clatter of teacups as the family gathered to greet my mother and me. And there's more after that, but I won't read the whole thing for you. But that tells you this story was set in Japan, where there are big bathhouses. The end. So, I have a song to go with that. It's a song you might know. It's a song from Sesame Street. This is Rubber Ducky. Well, let's just pretend. Here we go. Here I am in my tubby again. And my tubby's all filled with water and nice fluffy suds. And I've got soap and a washcloth to wash myself. And I've got my nifty scrub brush to help me scrub my back. Can you do that? And I've got a nice fluffy towel to dry myself when I'm done. But there's one thing that makes tubby time the very best time of the whole day. And do you know what it is? Do you know? It's a very special friend of mine, my little pal, my favorite little pal. Oh, who is he? It's Rubber Ducky. Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber Ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Ba-doo-be-doo-dee-doo-doo. A Rubber Ducky, joy of joys. When I squeeze you, you make noise. He does make noise. Rubber Ducky, you're my very best friend, it's true. La-do-da-do-da-do-do. Well, every day when I take a bath in my tubby, I find a little fella who's cute and yellow and chubby. A rub-a-dubby-dubby-dubby, rubber ducky, you're so fine, and I'm lucky that you're mine. A rubber ducky I'm awfully fond of. Rubber ducky I'm so very much fond of. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Ba-doo. And that is Rubber Ducky as sung by Ernie. Bert or Ernie? Ernie in Sesame Street. And well, that brings me to the last story of story time today. We were in the last story together in a bath, and here together, everybody in the red brick building. This is a story written by Wynter and illustrated by Mora. And published by Balzer and Bray. Everybody in the red brick building. One thing that many of us do is live together in buildings, in apartment buildings. Here we go. Everybody in the red brick building was asleep. Until baby Izzy sat up in her crib and howled. Wah! Can you do that? Wah! Woken up by a wah, Rayhan tiptoed out of bed to check on his parrot. Rock, wake up! Rock, wake up! Woken up by a wah and a rock, wake up, Benny pulled Cairo and Miles from their sleeping bags and challenged them to a game of flashlight tag. Pitter-patter, stomp. Woken up by a wah and a rock, wake up, and a pitter-patter, stomp, Natalia dropped from her bunk to launch her brand new light-up rocket. Pshoo! Whoa! Woken up by a wah and a rock, wake up, and a pitter-patter, stomp, and what was the last one? Do you remember? Pshoo! Pepper bounded down from her perch, dashed across the lawn, and leapt onto a car. Who is Pepper? A cat. Wee-oo, wee-oo. I think she set off the car alarm. Rock, wake up! Wah, wee-oo, wee-oo. Pitter-patter, stomp. Pshoo! That building got noisy fast, didn't it? Oh, rock. Good night. Oh, shh, quiet now. Click. Got it. Beep. Did they quiet down all those sounds? Back on her perch, Pepper curled up tight and listened to the shh, shh of the street sweeper. Back in her bunk, Natalia named the stars and listened to the shh, shh and the plonk, plonk of the falling acorns. Back in their sleeping bags, Cairo, Benny, and Miles closed their eyes and listened to the shh, shh, and the plonk, plonk, and the ting, ting of the wind chimes. Back in his bed, Rayhan burrowed under his covers and listened to the shh, shh, and the plonk, plonk, the ting, ting, and the chip, chip of his parrot. Back in her mother's arms, baby Izzy snuggled close and listened to the shh, shh, the plonk, plonk, the ting, ting, the chip, chip, and the pa-pum, 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 pa-pum of her mother's heart, until everybody in the red brick building was asleep. Asleep together in the building. The end. And so I thought that a good way to end story time and a story about a baby waking up everyone in the building, everyone kind of waking themselves up too, was to sing a lullaby. This is Hush, Little Baby. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird won't sing, Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Papa's gonna buy you a looking glass. And if that looking glass gets broke, Papa's gonna buy you a billy goat. And if that billy goat won't pull, Papa's gonna buy you a cart and bull. And if that cart and bull fall down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town. Here we go. Hush, little baby. And that brings me to the end of another virtual story time. So let's end with a wave and a song. It goes like this. So long, it's been good to see you. So long, it's been good to see you. So long, it's been good to see you. I'll see you again next week. And so will my budgies. Bye.